What's up, my badasses? Welcome back to this week's episode of the Grab Life by the Goals podcast. And today we're throwing it back to the number one most popular episode of all time. It is called Make Time Your Bitch. We are re-releasing the episode because we've had so many new subscribers and Instagram followers, and y'all might be listening to the podcast, but you got to take it back to the old school and the episode that started it all. It is our most popular episode, and it applies to entrepreneurs, intrapreneurs, lifepreneurs, anybody who feels like they have no control of their time. This episode is for you. It is full of practical tips that you can implement right away, and it comes with a free guide that you can download. There is a reason I'm re-releasing this particular episode, and it has to do with the squad. So if you haven't heard about the Grab Life by the Goal squad yet, you have to go check it out. The website is laurenwidrick.com/squad. It is our annual membership that gives you literally everything you need to level up in life and business. It is community, it is coaching, it is courses, it is events, it is retreats, it is online networking, all the things to support you in reaching your next level. So what does that have to do with making time your bitch? Well, we have a ton of events from our squad mates, Avengers, and members. And one of the first events that we're having when the squad opens in June is called Unfuck Your Calendar with Danielle Jefferson. Danielle is an incredible COO, a process ninja, and somebody that's changed the lives of so many of our squad mates. And she is going to be digging into the topic of how to make time your bitch. Instead of time making you, it's bitch. And this is the type of thing that we do in this community is it's not just business training. It's not just career coaching. It's everything to support you, from wellness to mindfulness to time management to productivity to friendships to fun to partying, all the things that you need. So again, go check out laurenwidrick.com/squad. And if you are ready to make time your bitch, go ahead and dig into this episode, and we'll see you on the other side. Grab Life by the Goals is the podcast for passionate badasses to get inspired, activate their potential, and crush their goals. In a nutshell, we do big shit around here. Whether you want to disrupt your career, start or grow a business, or simply have a more kick-ass life, you're in the right place. Come to be inspired, find your swagger, dream bigger, and take actual steps to level up your life, all with a side of real talk and raunchy humor. I'm your host, Lauren Widrick. I'm a life and business coach, and I'm right here on the roller coaster with you. Are you ready? Let's do this. What's up, my badasses? Today, we're here to talk about time, and specifically why it feels like we never have enough of it. So I see you. You've got a big badass goal, don't you? I mean, you're listening to this podcast because you're up to some big shit in your life and your business. Maybe you want to grow your side hustle, get in shape, have more sex, take more trips, all the things you would do if only you had more time. Am I right? I know how you feel. You're frazzled as fuck. You have a big, demanding job. You might have kids, obligations, a social life, a super heavy mental load, and all these things you really want to do that you dream about doing all the time, but they never get the time and attention that they deserve. So listen, are you ready for a truth bomb on this? Here it is. Time has made you its bitch. Yep, you. I say this with love, but you are a little bitch in the eyes of time, and it's yanking you around on its short leash and calling all the shots in your life. If that stung a little, stick with me, because I'm not up here on an ivory tower claiming this doesn't happen to me. Shit, this happens to me all the time. In fact, let me share this story with you. Picture this. It's the middle of 2016. I'm working on the trading floor of a global bank in a crazy ass demanding job. I'm pregnant, unexpectedly, by the way, with my second kid. And I'm about 6 months into my brand new side hustle. And on this particular day, I'm sitting in a hotel conference room in New York City at a weekend of coach training, these very intense 2-day training sessions. We're doing our exercise. And on this day, somehow I get called on and I start giving my shitty sob story about why I can't hit my goals. I'm whining like a little baby. I'm saying, you have no idea how much I have on my plate with work and travel and my daughter and my lengthy commute. And oh yeah, I'm pregnant. Look, guys, I want to focus on growing my business faster, but I don't have any freaking time. I was on a mission to defend my case for why I had it harder than anyone else in the room. Ugh, God. But my peers in the room were all nodding and being like, yeah, ooh, that's a lot. That's tough. And it made me feel better for a hot minute until the master level coach in the room looked squarely at me and said, so, Lauren, when did you become time's bitch? And when she said that, it knocked my big pregnant ass right out of my chair. She's a phenomenal coach. She spoke my language, that bold, biting term, bitch. She delivered me the message that I needed to hear with big girl panties on it, and I had to take it. And she was right. I always thought of myself as a badass, but in that moment, I was being a victim of a situation that I created myself. Oh my God. It's been almost 5 years since that moment, and I'll never forget it. It's still with me. It's the inspiration for this episode. So let's come into the present. Literally last week, I'm going to flip the script and tell you a different story where I made time my bitch. Here it is. So I was asked to speak at the Chamber of Commerce in my city. And the topic of my talk was sales swagger, specifically how to find soulmate clients. This is literally one of my favorite topics. I mean, I have a whole freaking course on this, sales and soulmate clients. This is my jam. The talk was at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I did what I always do, which is I woke up at 4:30 in the morning to prep my slides. I can literally feel some of your butt cheeks clenching up thinking about writing a talk the morning of the talk. But I always do this and it always works out brilliantly, except the one time it doesn't, which was last week. Okay. I woke up at 4:30. I got to work going through all of my past slides, presentations, and training materials on sales swagger and began to kludge together some shitty ass presentation, some god awful slides. And I looked at this thing at 6:30 a.m. Remember, my talk is at 8 and had a literal panic attack. I actually started bawling. The talk is in literally like an hour here. I still have to shower, put on makeup, get the kids ready for school, pack some PBJs for the lunch boxes, and pull an hour-long talk out of my ass. I'm looking in the mirror and going, I'm fucked. It's legit not possible at this point. I almost feigned an emergency, emailed them to call in sick and be like, sorry, this is crazy, but I can't make it. I was minutes away from doing that, but this message came into my head, and it was this. Time is your bitch, Lauren. Make this happen. So, like, completely inspired, I grabbed a piece of paper and a pen and I scrawled out the following. Literally, I found the piece of paper to read it to you in this episode. Here's what it said. Listen, you fucking badass. You are fit for battle. You got this. You do this shit in your sleep. Be what you teach. Fuck the slides. Sales is energetic. Just scrawled it out like a psychopath. Then I jumped up and did like 10 push-ups and 25 jumping jacks and got back into it. I set a timer for 25 minutes and somehow swiftly, elegantly curated the slides that I needed. And I rocked the presentation. Seriously, have you ever seen the movie Old School where Frank the Tank gets up there for the debate and he blacks out and it just comes out perfectly? That's exactly what happened to me. And my LinkedIn inbox was popping with messages for days after the talk. So that's how you make time your bitch. But listen, this is not a one and done thing like, oh, hey, now I conquered time and now I'm good. No, this is an ongoing practice like anything good in life, right? We have to keep working at it. So I want to break down for you how you can get in command of your time for you to run the show and not the other way around. So let's get you off that short leash that time has you on and get you in the driver's seat. So we're going to talk about two different scenarios here, okay? The first is that you are so goddamn busy that you literally can't find an hour in your day to work on your goals. The second scenario, which we'll get to in a minute, is you actually have the time, but you're not actually using it to the fullest to reach your goals. Let's start with the first one, which is a crazy demanding schedule. Most people's culprit is a demanding job, so let's start with the work life for a second. Look, I know this so well. In my past life, I had crazy demanding jobs, high pressure environment. I ran teams in India, which meant weird hours, 24/7, constant fire drills. It was so fucking stressful, but there was actually a hidden reason for that. I wasn't lacking time, even though it felt that way. I was actually lacking agreements. Here's what I mean. In my opinion, you need two core sets of agreements at work. The first is your working and online hours plus your typical response times. And the second is an agreement with your boss or stakeholders about how to handle shifting priorities. So let's dig into the first one, agreements on working hours and response times. It's super simple. It's on you to propose a schedule to your boss, not the one that you need that's going to make your work-life balance better, but the one that's going to make you more productive for the company. They don't give a shit about your work-life balance. They don't care that you're tired or stressed. What they actually want is a more productive employee. So that's how you approach your employer and say, hey, Mrs. Boss, hey, Mr. Boss, I have a proposal for you that will make me more productive and get you better results. Let me share it with you. These are the days I'll do meetings. These are the days I'll do FaceTime. These are the days I'll do heads down work. What do you think? If it's something that will make you more productive and they'll get a higher ROI on you as an employee, there's no way they'll say no to that. But you have to present it in a what's in it for them way, not what's in it for you way. Okay. Secondly, just form some damn agreements on response times. Just tell people that you are super responsive, and as a result, you respond to everything within 24 hours. You don't have to be a slave to your email or message system that you guys use at work. No. Let people know that you typically respond to emails during these times, 24-hour turnaround time, etc. This is actually a gift to your clients, your boss, your stakeholders, all the people that you work with, because they won't be wondering when you're going to respond. They're actually going to know. All right, let's talk about how to handle shifting priorities. So what I really mean by that is what to do when a fire drill arises, right? You've got your week planned, you're working through your stuff, and all of a sudden, Mrs. Boss or Mr. Boss comes by and says, we have an emergency. We need you to drop everything and work on this. This can be a real time sucker, right? Now listen, I follow a lot of women's empowerment type leaders and coaches, and they're always telling us to say no. Women need to learn how to say no more. And I actually don't like that. I don't like to say no. I think when somebody genuinely needs my help and my first response is no, that actually builds a wall between us. And that's not how I like to operate. I'd like to create a win-win instead. So how might you do that? You employ the good old improv strategy of saying yes and. So here's how it might work. If a boss comes by and dumps a fire drill on your plate, instead of saying no, say yes. And I've currently got this, and this in flight. So which of these should I bump to tomorrow? See, you're not accepting extra work. You're not being your company's bitch. And you're saying yes and helping out when they really, really need you. But you're not overloading yourself. Okay. Look, I'm painting the bosses to be the bad guys here, but they actually aren't. They just can't keep track of what's on everybody's plate. So they just ask for your help. It's on you to lead and manage your own energy. Okay. So to summarize, form agreements, try the yes and method. And I'm going to throw in one more kicker for you here. Okay. Listen up. You don't have to go to so many fucking meetings. I mean it. You don't need to go just to stay in the loop. You don't need to sit on the line for an hour to give a 2-minute update. Email that shit and tell them to call you if they have any questions. Meetings are for two reasons: decision making, and impediment removal. That's it. Stop going. I feel very passionate about this. Okay. Meetings are time and swagger suckers, and they keep you from doing what's really, really important and moves the needle. Okay. Enough about that. This concept of agreements actually applies outside of work too. For instance, you and your spouse might be lacking agreements. So you're operating by some default that's been put in place, and you're both secretly seething about it. You're overwhelmed with the mental load of the house and the kids and all the things. And as a result, your goals are on the damn back burner. So just do it. Form those clear agreements with your spouse or other family members and get some support. So let's talk about support for a hot minute, okay? Yes, you're a total badass, but stop trying to do it all yourself. Hopefully you and your spouse will make some agreements and begin to split the chores and create agreements around time. Fine, that will help. But how else can you carve time for your goals? What you may not realize is that you are surrounded by support systems, but truth bomb alert, you're either too proud or too embarrassed to leverage them. Let me give you an example. You need like 6 hours a week to work on your side hustle, but the only time you can find is after the kids go to bed, and we know how that story goes. By the time those kids go to bed, you're exhausted and collapsing onto the couch in a puddle, and it gets pushed to the next day and the next day. Okay? There's a simple solution. Hire a damn babysitter. And if you can't afford a babysitter, I get that. Swap babysitting with another mom. Hey, neighbor mom, I will take all these kiddos on Tuesdays if you take them on Thursdays, etc. Don't be too proud to ask. There's other little things you can do, like have your meals delivered, or at a minimum, get some cheap ass takeout one night a week. Hire a house cleaner or get someone to mow your lawn. I know these sound like luxuries, but time is a very, very precious commodity. Seriously, ask yourself right now, what could you do with 6 brand new hours a week toward your goals? Probably almost everything you need to do to make them come true. I promise. Okay, my busy people. Do you now see all the different ways that you can carve time for yourself? I hope you got something from that list of tips. Now, let's move to my other set of people who actually do have the time, but they aren't leveraging it to the fullest to reach their goals. I'm raising my hand over here. I happen to fall in this camp. To be honest, I got time, but I also got Instagram. You know what I mean? So you have the time, but you aren't doing the things that move you forward. So my advice for you and for myself is very simple. Stop viewing the tasks toward your goal as a chore, and instead see it as the funnest, coolest thing ever. Here's a great example that I coach on a lot. It's something in my business I call fairy dusting. So as a business coach, I teach this as one of the most crucial elements of building a business. And it's the part that everybody secretly hates. It's the one where you have to reach out and touch people. It requires you to put your butt cheeks out there and maybe get ignored or rejected. So everyone avoids this task and scrolls Instagram instead, including me sometimes. What you got to do is reframe these tasks as something you want to do, like cleaning the house. Let's use that as an example. Is it a fucking chore? Or is it your Zen meditation time? What about working out? Do you see it as a necessary evil or as your therapy sesh? And P.S., by the way, if you hate your workout, just do a different workout. If you hate running, do yoga. If you hate yoga, do stretching, walk. Who cares? Do something that you actually want to do. And fairy dusting, the reaching out and touching people on the internet, are you thinking about it as prospecting or hunting leads? Or are you thinking about it as dinking around on the internet and sharing your gifts with cool peeps? It makes all the difference in the world how you frame it. One other thing that helps a ton is having a plan, a little bit of a plan. So sitting down to fairy dust or prospect is daunting. You just like sit in front of your laptop and think to yourself, I guess I got to find humans on the internet. Okay. But having some clarity can really help, saying something like, okay, today I'm connecting with health coaches who are cool as fuck and might want help attracting more clients. And I'm going to try and connect with 5 of them on Instagram. Okay, well, there's clarity in that plan, so I can move forward with it. Okay. Lastly, I do love an accountability buddy. The best form of an accountability buddy on earth is a coach. It's somebody that you invest in to clarify, fortify, safeguard your goals, push you out of your comfort zone, and make you do the things. But if you don't have a coach, that's okay. You can also use a friend. Just pick somebody who will actually push you and not let you off the hook. P.S. This is why spouses don't make the best accountability buddy, because they love you and they don't like to see you in pain. So they're not actually going to push you. So make sure that you pick a friend that will actually hold you accountable. Okay. All right, my friends. This has been a rich, robust episode full of tips with how to make time your bitch. So let me take a moment to recap all the things that you can implement today to get in command of your time. First up, form clear agreements with the people in your life, your boss, your coworkers, your spouse, your family. Instead of working in the gray area of expectations, just get clear with those folks. Next up, number 2, stop saying yes to everything and start saying yes and. This will allow you to step up and support your company without taking so much on your plate and burning yourself out. Number 3, stop with all the fucking meetings. Okay. Number 4, get some actual support systems. Please stop being so prideful or embarrassed to ask for help. Number 5, reframe your goal-oriented tasks as the coolest, funnest thing ever so that you actually want to do them. And then lastly, get yourself an accountability partner, somebody who will hold your feet to the fire. To wrap up here, I'm going to go a little woo-woo on you. Yep, I have that spiritual side to me. Here's the thing. Time isn't even real. I know that sounds crazy, but you can do quantum amounts in teeny tiny periods of time. I proved it. I did it with writing my hour-long talk in 25 minutes. It's metaphysics. It's the truth. You can bend time to your will. And when you believe that, watch what magic shows up. You are not a little bitch. You are not time's bitch. Time is your bitch, boo. And actually, it's your very best friend and the most precious resource you have. So I want you to be able to apply these principles in your life, and I have a little gift for you. I've created a checklist for you called the Make Time Your Bitch Checklist. And it's an exercise that you can print out, post on your mirror, and remind yourself what a badass you are. So to get that checklist, just go to laurenwidrick.com/time, download it, print it out, fill it out, post it on your mirror, and then post a picture of it on Instagram with the hashtag #TimeIsMyBitch. And that way I can find you and cheer you on and remind you how amazing you are for prioritizing and working toward your goals. That's all for today, friends. I'll end with this. Grab life by the goals, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to the Grab Life by the Goals podcast. If you loved this episode, I would be thrilled if you subscribed wherever you listen to your podcast so that you can get notified when an episode drops and we can rendezvous like this every single week. If you're feeling frisky, maybe slap a 5-star review on this bitch and maybe even some comments about what inspired you from this podcast episode. This is simply so more people can find us and join our squad of badassery. I love me some Instagram, so come find me. My handle is @LaurenWidrick, and if you screenshot and share this episode with your peeps, I'll come shower you with all the virtual hugs and kisses. Until next time, grab life by the goals, my friend.